What if I told you your life is not controlled by fate, not by luck, not by other people, but by the silent conversations you have with yourself every single day? And the most dangerous voice in your life is the one no one else can hear. In a quiet town surrounded by grey buildings and crowded streets, there lived a young man named Aaron. From the outside, Aaron looked normal. He went to work. He smiled when required. He scrolled endlessly on his phone before sleeping. But inside his mind, there was a storm. Every morning when he woke up, a whisper greeted him. "You're not good enough. You always fail. Other people are smarter. Why even try?" At first, Aaron thought those were just thoughts, harmless words floating in his head. But he didn't realize something powerful. The mind does not know the difference between truth and repetition. Whatever you repeat, it starts believing. Years passed. Aaron stopped applying for better jobs because he thought he would be rejected. He stopped going to the gym because he thought he would quit anyway. He stopped talking to people because he thought they would judge him. Slowly, silently, his thoughts became his reality. The man who believed he was weak became weak. The man who believed he would fail kept failing. The man who believed he was invisible became invisible. And the saddest part, he thought life was unfair. One evening, after another disappointing day, Aaron walked home under a sky covered in dark clouds. The city lights flickered in the rain. He passed by a small bookstore he had never noticed before. In the window, there was a single sentence written in bold letters. "You are not what happened to you. You are what you believe about what happened to you." He stopped walking. For the first time in years, he questioned his thoughts. What if the problem wasn't the world? What if the problem was the story he kept telling himself? That night, something unusual happened. Instead of scrolling on his phone, Aaron sat in silence. He listened carefully to the voice inside his head. It was loud. It was cruel. It was familiar. But this time, he didn't accept it. When the voice said, "You will fail," he asked, "Says who?" When it said, "You're not talented," he asked, "Prove it." When it said, "Don't try," he whispered back, "Watch me." And in that small room, something shifted. Not outside, inside. The next morning, nothing magical happened. He didn't wake up confident. He didn't suddenly become fearless. But he did something different. He replaced one sentence. Instead of "I can't," he said, "I'll try." Instead of "I'm unlucky," he said, "I'm learning." Instead of "I always fail," he said, "I'm improving." At first, it felt fake, like he was lying to himself. But remember, the mind does not know the difference between truth and repetition. And this time, he was repeating power. Weeks turned into months. Aaron started going to the gym not because he felt confident, but because he told himself he was becoming stronger. He applied for a job not because he was fearless, but because he told himself he was capable. He spoke in meetings not because doubt disappeared, but because he told himself his voice mattered. And slowly, the man who thought he was weak began building strength. The man who thought he was average began developing skills. The man who thought he was invisible began shining. Nothing around him changed dramatically, but his thoughts did. And that changed everything. One day, a coworker asked him, "What happened to you?" "You're different." Aaron smiled. He knew the answer. He stopped fighting the world and started mastering his mind. Because he finally understood a truth most people never realize. Your thoughts are seeds. If you plant doubt, you grow fear. If you plant excuses, you grow stagnation. If you plant belief, you grow transformation. The mind is a garden, and whether you realize it or not, you are the gardener. Years later, Aaron stood on a stage giving a speech to hundreds of people. Not because he was the smartest, not because he was the luckiest, not because life became easier, but because he changed one invisible thing: the way he spoke to himself. He ended his speech with these words: "Every day, you are casting votes for the person you are becoming. Every thought is a vote. Every belief is a brick. Every sentence you repeat is shaping your future." Then he paused. "And the most powerful sentence you would ever say is the one you whisper when no one is watching. So tonight, when you lay in bed and your mind begins to speak, listen carefully. Is it building you or breaking you? Because what you think, you become. And the life you're living tomorrow is being created by the thoughts you choose today."